Anthony, you're watching. You think I'm crazy because I opened my eyes. You do that shit. Nah, fuck. We live in a world that produced Anthony Ibenwuku. You see, just because somebody conceived you doesn't mean anything to you. They have to actually begin your life. So on that note, just because you think you were conceived by the United States of America does not mean you have to act like it's been good to you. Hello everybody. The mic is still on. My name is Chimaoge and Onyeishi. Hello everybody. This is ChimaogesComments America. Network dedicated to talking about the black race in general. Very important. Thank you for joining me on this solemn evening. It's currently 11:46 p.m. on Sunday, November 3rd. Less than 48 hours until the day on which the election for the presidency of the United States of America, the Great Evil Society, the Big Evil Society, as it's properly called. I'm angry today, folks. I'm angry. You see, people are dying, people are sick. We have these people parading around as if they will help. One's name is Kamala Harris. She has her crew, but is it really her crew? She wasn't leading it at the beginning, she's leading it now. She's just the face. Whatever the truth is, she's not helpful. The other one is Donald John Trump, a hell reincarnation who's come up from hellfire to destroy the black race and the world in general. I have to fight to stay on screen. Don't vote. We need to change the system. This is not good enough. Welcome. This video is called My Thoughts on the United States of America's Presidential Election. My relatives have passed away. My ancestors too in default. They're telling me to be quick. I'll try and be quick, but I have many things to say. Anyway, this is a video about my thoughts on the United States of America's presidential election. The purpose of this video is to inform the public about what is going on and to also recommend actions to the public in regards to this event. Let me just talk. So, these are my thoughts. Let me translate it into our local abomination speech English. You see, this election, there's some other great people speaking through me right now. I won't name them to not be too controversial. These are big people, as well as the big people related to me. Anyone who's related to me and is at least Onyeishi is a big person. Yes, I'll become controversial. Want me to hello to it behind. Yeah, please so take up Kaya. Ayakata. Anyway, this election has been disgusting. The only positive thing about this election is that I feel like my efforts from 4 years ago, along with rather the collective efforts of other people who want to wake up the black race, have been working, because I sense that there is not as much enthusiasm for the Democrats. I sense that even people who are saying vote for Kamala Harris know that that is not the ultimate solution. I sense that they don't actually blame people who don't want to vote. I sense that some of them are saying it due to factors that are out of their control. I'll just say that. Many people are in positions where they cannot speak freely. And then also, I'm really not seeing anyone of substance support the master leaders of life, the so-called Republicans. But nonetheless, even a new low. You see, they talk of the rise and fall of empires. It's deeper than that. This is called Imegada. The savages will fall. You see, the world right now is ruled by people who are hell-bent on deleting life. They're they're savages. They're so evil you cannot talk about it without your mind being destroyed in the worst way, you see. Some of us, like myself, are meant to push through and talk about them, but there's so much evil it destroys the brain, you see. That is what savagery is. So these savages have been parading around telling us they're gonna help while they delete life all over the globe. People are starving, people are out of work, and they've sunk to new lows, doing things like attempting to delete each other. You see, Donald Trump, I'm not a fan of it all. I've talked a bit about who he truly is, hell reincarnation. I'll check out my video on ChimaogesComments. Trump is the final version of Ekwensu, or the end goal of Ekwensu, rather, Karatazu. You see, we're at war on every level, including the spiritual level. Trump is an evil spiritual warrior, you see. But he is still a person who's alive. It is not for people in our category to take him by our hand. That is evil. But that has happened, to my recollection, at least twice. People have attempted to assassinate him. That's a new law. You don't do that. It's evil. It's unnecessary. And when things like that are happening, and then when Trump is firing back, he said something vile about Liz Cheney. Again, another politician I don't like, but saying something indicating that she should be deleted. I saw that headline. We're at a new low. Crime is at an all-time high in the great evil society. And this election is the focal point. You see, the Democrats, as usual, will not do anything. But what shocks me is that their tactics are even more Republican than normal. I've seen many ads advocating for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was ushered in without much discussion after Joe Biden finally admitted, or was told to admit, that, he was not healthy enough to continue with the election. A man who, from the time he was elected 4 years ago, and check out my very first video, Say No to Joe 2020, Say No to Joe 2020, it holds up very well. A man who, from the time he was elected, even before he was elected, it was clear, was not healthy enough to lead a nation. I don't even know if he could lead a barbershop quartet. Nonetheless, he was there, but it became so bad, we all saw him fall down the stairs, that they couldn't go forward with it. So they put in Kamala Harris. Now, I've seen her speak in person. She's charismatic. There's no such thing as a politician operating at that level who's not charismatic. It doesn't exist. But what I will say is her charisma is not enough to cover up the shortcomings of her platform. All I'm seeing is talk of a tax cut. You have this massive government which should be reformed. I've said many times that, the so-called United States of America, the great evil society, should be peacefully, and I want to emphasize peacefully. I'm not a Republican. I'm not Antifa either. Peacefully broken up. We need proper law and order. Proper law and order, not the law and order you see on TV, not the law and order the Republicans talk about. I'm talking about Udama, justice. We need that in this world. Part of that is having a properly structured society, properly structured leadership groups. So that government is not proper. Nonetheless, it exists, and you can't snap your fingers and make it go away. So while it's operating, it needs money to operate. So you're just talking about a tax cut, and you're not telling us where the money will come from. The government that spends trillions at least, you're just gonna cut taxes and it will operate. What is your backup plan, Vice President Harris? You see, it's not good enough to just bribe your electorate with money, because that is an indirect bribe. Oh, I'm gonna cut your taxes. The poorest among us don't pay taxes. What does that do for us? All you're doing is making some rich people or some people who are comfortable a little more comfortable. And again, I do believe the taxation system should be reformed. Okay, it should be a voluntary opt-in donation to the government, which is a leadership group. But nonetheless, I'm not stupid, come on now. I have to fight to stay on screen here, but I don't even want to exploding. Need a punching bag to fully express my thoughts. You know, my relatives who passed away told me that bears is a manifestation of Akanu. It's a manifestation of something called a saga. There's a village in Ohafia called a saga. And a saga is a verb. It means it's really to cut up and attack in the worst way. It's not a bad thing. It's my thing. Onyeishi Kalaka. Onyeishi Kalu neba. Onyeishi Kalu kuku. Onyeishi Onyeishi ka. Explain being Onyeishi Kala Akanu. I actually did that on NkwoOrie. Check it out. I think it was in the video on my performance of the ad review. Shout out to the ad review. But anyway, I know it'll be controversial to a lot of you. It's not something to maybe on. Don't break yourself over it. I'm just damn still a human being. But anyway, point I'm getting at is bears. They communicate through physical touch, and a lot of times when bears are fighting, that's their version of debating, because they get so angry that they can't even speak. They just have to smack you. You see, a lot of men who have Shango is, because again, Amadioha and Shango is the same being. Amadioha is just Shango in the language now called Igbo. Shango is it in the language that is now called Yoruba. Also the same thing in the language which is the basis of English, Latin. Anyway, but if you have Amadioha, Shango, same thing as most of yourself. Me, I'm unique. It's all of myself. I'd like to hear debate on that. Come on, I want to go. Let's have debate. But anyway, if you would go to an Ifa priest and they tell you you're Shango, we're like that after a certain point. Obviously, we're very eloquent, but after a certain point, we just hate things. It's not enough opportunities to hit things, and then instead you see people doing UFC nonsense, hitting people. Don't hit people, hit things. Hit the punching bag. That's the real sport. But anyway, those are really my thoughts on the election. But to close it out, to put it into words, this election shows more than anything that reform is needed in this country and the world over, because the political system in the United States of America is imitated the world over. So as long as the United States exists, there will be trouble in this world. And as long as the United States is not even optimized to minimize the amount of evil it spreads, there will be excessive evil, to say it that way, all over the world. In other words, people will continue to leave the world before their time. This system must end. Going to my recommendations, what can my audience do? First of all, pray. See, prayer is the blessing. It's the okay. You do it before and after the main thing. Don't just pray, but begin praying. Pray for the end to evil in this world. Pray for the end of evil systems in this world. After you pray, let's act. How do you act? The first act is don't vote. Do not vote. Then also advocate for a change of political system. I have my own advocacy. My advocacy is that instead of having elections where we vote for people as an intermediate step to peacefully dissolving the United States of America and peacefully repurposing the various branches of the government, we should have a system where issues are voted on, but then we also have to acknowledge that the way this government is set up, people really are unable to have a say in most of what goes on. So what I propose is that voting, first of all, real power has to be given to cities, the mayors and city councils, because currently those places are powerless. Really, since the civil rights era, mayors and city councils have been stripped of their power. They're really just show ponies, unfortunately, with a few exceptions. They should be given real power. No more national elections, no more statewide elections. Let us just acknowledge that at that level, both of the ruling factions, the Republicans and the Democrats, and unfortunately they've squeezed out the other smaller factions. Let's just acknowledge they do basically the same thing, especially when you look at their actions outside of the country. Within the country, they're getting increasingly similar. Really, transfers of power between them should just be decided by a coin flip. I know it sounds ridiculous, but look at the structure of this country. It is ridiculous. The Supreme Court should preside over the coin flips, even this election on November 5th. I know it's unlikely, but I hope they just say no vote. Let's have the coin flip. What's the difference between the Republican ticket and the Democratic ticket? Because let's be clear, you're not voting for Donald Trump if you choose to do that. You're voting for a group that he is the face on. I'm not saying he doesn't have influence. I'm not saying he's not the boss, but the boss does not decide everything. This is basic personhood. No man or woman is an island. No evil man or evil woman is an evil island. They're one part of an evil group. Look at the group. So if you vote Republican, you're voting for a group. If you vote Democrat, you're voting for a group. If you believe Kamala Harris is gonna cause most of the problems that the Democrats will cause us if they're elected, you're crazy. You're crazy. But anyway, just flip a coin. Supreme Court should preside over that. That should happen in perpetuity until, the United States of America is fully peacefully dissolved. That should happen at the federal level and the state level, at the city level. And again, more cities should be created. There should be more cities. There's a lot of places there's not really a city. You just call it the county. There should be a city there. That's a gradual process. But at the city level, at least 10% of all laws that are passed should be put to a vote by the people. We should be able to vote on individual bills. This way we won't get obsessed with the personalities that are working behind the scenes or obsessed with the figurehead of the leadership group. Give me the bill, don't give me the politician. Give me my bill. I am a citizen of this country. I didn't want to be, but I am. Give me my bill. NkwoOrie, let me pay the bill myself. Give me my bill so I can vote in my policy. I don't care who you are, Kamala. I don't care who you are, Donald. I don't care who you are, Mayor such and such. I'll be honest, I don't even remember the name of the mayor of Atlanta. And it doesn't hurt me because whoever they are, they're not doing much. Give me the bill. Don't put your face on the pole I have to walk by every day. Give me the bill. In fact, that's the name of my new movement. Give me the bill. Forget the politician. Give me the bill. That's my recommendation. Anyway, let's take action towards that and also just generally improve the society. We can't just be looking to leadership groups to save us. Every person has their own leader. The leader is one of the things. And Amadio is the Azua, the world leader. We all have our own world leader. Just do what you need to do, but then also form our own leadership groups. If you founded a non-profit, that's a leadership group. Take it seriously. If you founded a business, that could be a leadership group. Take it seriously. Do that. We'll fix society anyway. I want to keep going, but anyway, they're telling me to wrap up. There have been great spirits with me today. My great spirit has been here today. Anyway, thank you for watching me. This is ChimaogesComments America. ChimaogesComments America. Share the video and give me the bill. Thank you. And as the Ebere, I gave you 5 points to this breakdown. At least there were 5 parts. I greeted you. I told you what it was about. I gave you the thing. I gave you my recommendation of what to do with the thing, and I closed out standard random speech. You shouldn't just. I mean, Ekwensu can do that. I'm not Ekwensu. I'm a Madio. Ekwensu, Ogun, same thing. Ogun's overrated. I know I'll make people upset anyway. Shout out to Dr. Umar. I get me shugi shugi I get me shugi shugi Sansoneba Sansoneba I get me shugi shugi Did it. Stop being a fool, Dr. Umar. Just because the man's skin is black doesn't mean he was acting black. If the man is acting white, white people can punish him. We don't have time to look at every Onyarala. Never. We don't have time to look at every evil person here. Anyway. Anyways, my Ebere. Don't look at Donald Trump's face. He's evil. His face spreads disease. Don't look at it as much as possible. If you have to look at it in a group and for a specific purpose. Thank you. I'm closing out. Abo para Akila.